How did I get involved in fashion PR? Well, I was actually going to go to law school after I did my undergrad. And then I was thinking about it, and I thought to myself, oh, do you want to be a lawyer? It's a very serious job. You're much more of an easygoing, sort of fun-loving, creative person. And literally on the last day I could apply to Parsons in New York City for my postgraduate, I did on the very last day, because I was like, oh my gosh, I love fashion, I love clothes, I love styling, I love everything about it. I mean, one of my favorite parts of reading fashion magazines is looking at the ads. I think, you know, some people are like, oh, there's so many ads in magazines this day, but you can really take a lot about the direction that fashion's going in, the creative style of fashion from the ads alone. So yeah, I applied to Parsons, and I somehow got in magically. And so I moved to New York City. I went to school there, did my postgraduate degree in fashion marketing, merchandising, and public relations with a minor in fashion illustration, because like I said, I'm very creative. Yeah, I mean, there's something about, I think, the cachet of Parsons. I think especially, you know, I hate to say it, but Project Runway, the TV show, certainly took that school to a whole other level in terms of visibility and credibility in the fashion industry, with the show being hosted at the school. But I mean, it was a great school. You know, the classes were amazing. Classes were very, very small. They're very serious about education in the sense that if you miss more than 3 classes, that's it, you're out of the program. I mean, they're very, very serious about the academics of it, and it not just being, you know, like a fun place to go to talk about clothes. It's not like that at all. I had some very, very serious marketing assignments, PR assignments that took tons and tons of time to do. But yeah, I mean, I think obviously that had a part to play, not necessarily in being able to say, oh, I went to Parsons, but some of the work experience I had in New York City, having then, you know, gotten my opportunity through going to Parsons, certainly led me to where I am today. I mean, obviously the fashion sector in Canada is not the biggest. You know, even in Toronto, which is, you know, our biggest city, it's not even that huge there. And I think, you know, the jobs are few and far between, so it can be quite difficult to sort of reach that end game of getting a job in fashion public relations. But, you know, with anything in life, I think if you're determined and you put yourself out there and you just get as much experience as possible and network as much as you can. I mean, public relations is all about networking. Eventually you'll sort of find your way. And it might not be that you land a job in fashion PR straight off the bat, but maybe you get a job in marketing for a big department store. I mean, we have so many department stores moving into Canada now, and there's going to be tons of jobs coming with. So I think you don't have to necessarily think it has to be a job in fashion PR. That's all I want. There's so many things, so many roads that lead to your final destination, and you should really try all of them, because it might turn out that you like something better than you thought you were going to. You know, I worked in marketing, I ran a showroom, I did fashion show production. I did so many things before I ended up here. So. Oh boy. Not to sound cliche, but it's 100% true. No 2 days are ever the same, especially when you're dealing with public relations. You never know what the day is going to bring for you. I mean, I get up, I decide what I'm going to wear, which is obviously very important for me. Yeah, and I get to my office, which is located in the heart of downtown Toronto, the Canadian support office for all of H&M Canada. You know, our head office is in Sweden, so because of the time difference, we have very few hours in the day where we have direct communication with them. So I usually spend the first hour or so of my day having conference calls with Sweden and taking in any information that they've sent, you know, earlier in the morning while we were sleeping, responding to emails from my head office, sort of liaising with them. And then once they go to sleep, then I sort of really focus on Canada and what has to be done for Canada. I mean, we could have any requests during the day that could range anywhere from asking questions. We have 2 stores in the country that are unionized, so asking questions about that, asking questions about our views on sustainability and working with more sustainable fabrics, even down to, I mean, we joke around, but we once had a request for squirrel chic fashion. So I mean, you never know what you're going to get. We also have the showroom as part of our office, so we do all the lending of garments in and out of our showroom. So many requests, no day is ever the same, and I kind of like that. Actually, I like that a lot. I said before that I think networking is really important, but I think sometimes it's not just about networking to move up. It's also networking to share experiences, to share ideas, to meet people that you can really create your own community with, you know, and I think it doesn't have to be so competitive. I would say that. I would say meet people that are in the same industry as you, talk about shared experiences, shared problems, shared solutions, and things you can learn from each other. I think sometimes in, like you said, PR gets sort of a bad rap because we're sort of known to be a bit cutthroat sometimes, and that's definitely true, but I think we can also create a better community within PR and definitely share our experience together.